What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another ARK Survival Ascended video. And today, guys, we're discussing the top 15 new features of ARK Survival Ascended. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it. Now, guys, in no particular order, the first one is the new admin bar. For those of you that run servers and need to do admin things, this new bar makes you save quite a lot of time by showing up as predictive text. This essentially allows you to summon in or use an admin command without you having to type a lot, which is really good because obviously you're going to save a little bit of time by utilizing this feature. And you can obviously do it with any of these commands that you see below. As well as that, you can also utilize it to change your settings if you so desire. And you can actually get a list of everything that it can change by typing in certain commands. So I feel like the predictive text feature of the new admin bar is really well. It also gives you a description of what it actually does right next to it as well. The next feature that I want to talk about is the fact that when you demolish or pick up structures, the items connected to those structures don't get destroyed. For example, you can see here we've got some industrial forges and grinders set upon these ceilings. The only thing supporting these ceilings is this wooden wall. If we were to, for example, go across to this wooden wall and pick it up, you can see there that all of those items on the ceilings were straight inputted into our inventory, meaning you no longer have to worry about losing valuable resources when you need to change some of your base around. Now, the next feature is the fact that we no longer need to worry about pipes. We only have the intake pipe and the water reservoirs, and that enables us to actually place a water source and then irrigate everything in that circumference. You can see here these crop plots are now irrigated with 600 water, so you no longer have to worry about running huge ass pipes through your base from various locations. And you can see here you do get a little bit of a hub of where the water will cover. Now, if you do want to extend this hub, you can also place down reservoir tanks. Now, the reservoir tanks act as a sort of booster. If you've got an irrigation pipe placed down, you can simply place this water reservoir and it will increase the size of the gathering range of the water. Now, once you place down that metal reservoir, you can actually see the range of it and how far it extends it. So obviously this is an extension of the metal irrigation pipe, so you can easily set up some water tanks to farm up all of your crops and provide water to anywhere in your base in a certain circumference. Now, another new feature is something very similar with power. You can now do the exact same thing with power, where it has a certain circumference range of a generator. And in that generator range, everything that requires gasoline is powered. For example, this industrial forge that has no gasoline inside of it. This chem bench at the back here no longer requires gasoline inside of it, as well as this fabricator here. Everything is powered in the circumference of the electrical generator, and items that needed gasoline no longer need gasoline in order to work. It's all chucked into the generator, making life a hell of a lot easier, as you no longer need to supply power to various things, and you no longer need to worry about having electrical cables running through your base. Now, the next factor as well is the fact that we now get a fuel timer. Based on the amount of resources that you have put in your generator or fireplace, you now get a fuel counter stating how much fuel you have and how long it can power the surrounding areas. For example, here, if we take out some of this gasoline, you'll see that this fuel counter will drop to 58 minutes, which means we have 58 minutes of gasoline remaining in this generator. If we chuck in some more gasoline, you'll see that this number will go up as well. 2 days and 1 hour. So it's a great way to know how much gasoline you're going to need, how much wood you're going to need for your fireplaces, and everything like that. Now, another really cool feature that I think is great is the fact that we can now extend our hotbars. So by holding Q on the keyboard, you can see there that we do get the rest of the items in our inventory along the hotbar. Now, obviously this won't work for every item, but majority of the items do enable you to be placed on the hotbar, and you can actually cycle through them by using your numbers 0 and 9. This will allow you to select different items from your hotbar and allow you to place them. So you can easily go ahead and set up a bunch of different things as well as snapping. I feel like this is going to be really helpful for builders and for just general use. Now, if you want to go back to your original hotbar, all you need to do is hold down Q and that will revert back to your original hotbar. Now, another really cool feature that we now have as well is the new placing of structures. We now have a full alignment mode, which actually enables you to place stuff along walls and everything like that. And for people like me, for those of you that have been fans of the channel, I would generally have to get a ladder in ARK Survival Evolved in order to make sure everything was nice and straight and flush. As well as that, we can now snap items together, such as structures. So for example, you can see here, we just went ahead and snapped a bunch of these large storage boxes together. And this extends to pretty much every structure, which is absolutely amazing. Now you can also obviously cancel this snapping as well if you don't want it to snap to foundations, and you can also cancel the full alignment mode if you want to place it in a particular way. So you can even go to partial alignment and then free placing mode completely, which will enable you to place it however you want. I really like these new changes in regards to the snapping because I just would love making sure everything was super flush, and the fact that we can now do it without having to worry about it sticking out of the walls slightly or anything like that is just such a nice little aesthetic that we get. Now guys, another new feature that I really enjoy is the tracking list. So this brings up a HUD of every tame that you own. Now you can also filter it, and you can also set them as favorites and to add a POI so that you can actually track them down again. So if you see here, you can see all our tames that are currently located around the map. This enables you to actually find your dinos if you ever lose them, which I think is a great benefit because nobody ever used the bloody tracking transponder node thing that was back in ASE, and we would always lose our dinos. And with the deduction of cryopods now in effect, it is much easier to lose your dinos. However, that's not all that this can do. You can obviously see that it also tracks baby creatures, your baby creatures, adult creatures, low HP creatures, carnivores, herbivores, water creatures, flyers, vehicles, teammates and allies, tames in progress, favorites, and tracked targets. So obviously the tames in progress you will be using because you will want to track down your dinos that you've knocked out, especially with the super long foliage that is now present. And these guys actually come up with a different sort of HUD looking than the tamed creatures that you already own. As well as that, the new death messages also pop up and they are on the map, and you can also dismiss these whenever you want. All you need to do is aim at them and hold down R in order to get rid of it. Now another awesome new feature is the new loot drops. Not only do they have a brand new look, their loot tables have been completely flipped on the head and now offer really good loot. Whether or not this will remain remains to be seen. I would say that they will nerf it, considering we just got an Ascendant Sarco saddle, an Ascendant Diplo saddle, and an Ascendant Fur leggings out of a yellow drop. I'd say there's most likely a chance of this getting nerfed. It did have a ring, however, so that also makes it slightly more rarer, but you also will receive consumables now from the supply drops such as curries, jerky, and other meats. Now, another really big awesome change is the brand new photo mode. For content creators and people that enjoy taking their own screenshots, this is such a massive game changer, and I already love this feature. It's seriously one of my favorite features out of the new game, just purely because of the fact that you can get some killer photos now, and by utilizing all the various settings that you have access to. Let me just turn that down, there we go. You can get some amazing shots. Obviously this isn't the best show off because we just got a conglomerate of dinosaurs all here. But look at the detail that you can get with this shot. So photo mode is definitely a great new feature, and I would heavily recommend trying it out. Even if you don't really like taking screenshots all that much, I've seen some really awesome shots being taken. Like for example, who doesn't want a shot of a nice juicy belly button? Definitely me. I would heavily recommend checking this out. It's a great new feature to test. Another awesome new feature is the new building structures and how much better snapping is. So now, for example, you can see here we've got wood hatch frames, wood ceilings, and wood cellar doors all together under the wood roof. This also saves your engram points so that you don't have to spend as many engram points learning all these various structures, which is a godsend. As well as that, like I mentioned, the new system of snapping is so much better. You can actually select where you want your snap to go, and it tells you how many snap points there are. As well as that, you've also got new wooden doorways, well, new doorways in general, as well as the new hidden doors as well. And these are all classified under the wooden wall, once again, saving all of those valuable engram points. You also have the new wood roof corners, which will enable you to actually build like these little sort of cutoff points that allow you to continue around. You can see here, look at that. We've got ourselves like a little rampart sort of thing going on here, and you can actually enable this to keep going along the entirety of your build, and you can get some really cool different designs going by utilizing this feature. Also, I don't know about you guys, but I really like the new wood beams and the new wood pillars. They just add a whole extra dimension to all of the building that you can do and enable you to actually just customize things in a lot nicer of a way. Now, another really awesome new feature is the fact that the dung beetle and the OVIRAPTOR now automatically collect feces and eggs. You can see here there is an option to disable the feces collection and enable the feces collection. So the dung beetle will automatically collect any feces that your dinos drop straight into its inventory. Now, you still need to enable the wandering in order for it to turn it into fertilizer, but just having one of these guys in a cage around your dinos is a great way now, and this is what they originally were supposed to do when the dossiers came out for ARK Survival Evolved, and the same for the OVIRAPTOR. The OVIRAPTOR can now collect fertilized and unfertilized eggs and store them in its inventory. Now, another really awesome new feature is the fact that loot bags get dropped properly. So now when you actually throw loot bags, they go much further than they did in ARK Survival Evolved, and they also land in the one spot and do not move around. You can see here they've all landed in the same spot, and if we go ahead and just throw all of this down, you'll see that none of it actually goes flying around like it used to. It's all super stable and super nice in this one area, which is going to make metal gathering a heck of a lot easier when you're doing it on foot and transferring from dinos to refining forges, because it'll enable you to keep all the metal in one spot and easily pick it up and chuck it in your forges. Now, another really awesome new feature of ASA is the brand new baby system. You can see here these parents are actually defending themselves and their babies against the compies. And you can see here they've got 4 of them. I've never seen Phiomias attack back before, but due to these guys having babies, they are attacking back. And they have a lot of babies. So in order to claim the babies or tame them, all you need to do is either kill or tame the parent, and then you can actually claim the babies as well for yourself. It is a bit morbid. It's a bit of a shame killing the parents like that. But hey, at least you get a bunch of free babies. Now, you can obviously do this with any dino that you find that has babies, Rexes, anything like that. You can claim all the babies from them. And just like that, you can build yourself your own little baby army. Now, another really cool feature is that now with tech dedicated storage boxes, you can automatically pull items from it in order to craft them. For example, you can see here we've got some spark powder and charcoal in one of them. If we come into our chem bench here and we just go ahead and try to make... Let's turn it on first and try to make a gunpowder. You'll see here that it automatically will craft from the tech dedicated storage. And you can see there we actually get the amounts of how much is in the dedicated storage as well. And you can see there it does pull from the tech dedicated storages. So it's essentially S+, which is really good that you have this in the base game now. You can also do the same with literally anything. So you can see here we've got metal and cementing paste in a dedicated storage. We can now go ahead and make a bunch of metal foundations utilizing that metal and cementing paste. So once you get access to tech dedicated storages, definitely worth utilizing them in order to craft and pull everything. Now, you can obviously turn this feature off as well. You can see here prevent wireless crafting so that it doesn't do this, but why would you want to do that for? So guys, these are my top 15 new features of ARK Survival Ascended. Let me know what your favorite is. Let me know if you have a different one down below in the comments. But other than that, guys, thank you very much for watching.